Hi, and welcome to Springtime in Connecticut. This is our first Springtime Tablescape, and we are so happy to be having guests over for dinner. People ask me all the time, what goes into your mind? How do you start a tablescape? I've given a lot of talks on this. Sometimes I just don't know the answer, but I know the components that go into me designing. The first one is whimsy. I just sometimes like to live in a fantasy world. You know, they say if you can think it, it will happen. I think that people sometimes don't have enough whimsy in their life, and why not do something that maybe isn't real? And I sometimes wake up with these thoughts about what I'm going to do. And honestly, that's exactly how this table originated. I decided it was going to be all in spring greens, and I didn't actually have a cloth that I thought was going to be suitable for it. So I went to my favorite fabric place, and I found this gorgeous Waverly print, and they, in 3 days, whipped me up a 120-inch round tablecloth to the floor. Love the tablecloth all the way to the floor. What I love about this fabric, it's a polished cotton, is that it has body to it. And I love it for its presentation, especially for a buffet, which this is going to be. It just stands out like a skirt, like a ball gown. I like to be inspired also by fashion. So sometimes I like my tables to look like they're dressed up. I had this idea to use different napkins, and I think it's an important thing to discuss, because whether you're entertaining 2 or 6 or 10, oftentimes we don't have the exact number of napkins for the exact number of people to go with the exact dinnerware we want to use. So I'm all about mixing and matching. I think it's fun. It makes for more interest in the table, gives it a depth, like a more textured depth. So for this table, I used this trellis napkin. And all of the resources will be on my website on the blog. This will be a very detailed blog. The other napkin that I chose to use is this beautiful gingham. Spring greens, it just goes with everything. I was reminded when I was doing this tablescape of my son, who has a master's in fine arts, and he did one whole semester on the color green. There are infinite numbers of green. And you can put them all together, and it just works. And I used my Café Paris china that I bought in Boston in the 80s. I do keep things, I do reuse them, refresh. When you're seated at a table, oh, it should be so exciting, because as soon as everyone sits down, the first thing they talk about is, oh, look at this, oh, look at this. So right away it stirs up conversation. There's never an awkward moment at any of my dinner parties, ever. I can tell you that. So this is a fun thing. I found a package of these cards, and I love the colors. They're so muted and rich, and I love topiaries and boxwoods. You know that all the time, everywhere. So I bought these. I've had them for a long time, and I just took them out to use on this table. You can use them as a place card, or you can just use them to set your silverware on them, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm just going to set the silverware, and it's just another whimsical item. On to my drink for the day. My drink for the day is going to be a colorful raspberry martini. Love that, with just a tiny bit of vodka. And my glasses are green, as you can see, but I thought, let me just throw a little whimsy onto the glass. And I just wrapped these ivy garlands around them, and that I get in rolls. I buy them online. And why not have a little silk leaf just to add to it? Yes, I love that. Let's put that there. This is one of my most fun new finds. It's called the Punctilious Mr. P. They come in this beautiful little wrapper, which I just love. It's so perfectly packaged. When everyone has a place card at their place setting, when you look around the table, all you see are the backs of the place cards. You don't usually see the design. So they decided to make place cards with little pieces of art. And what happens is the artwork faces out. So when you're seated, everybody is looking at a little tiny piece of art, which adds to the drama of the table. And they also print the back for the name of your guests. I just had these printed with Lion's Lifestyle, so I can share them with you. Then I decided, well, springtime, spring vegetables, spring greens, let's have a celebration of spring in our vegetables as well. So I created these Brussels sprout topiary trees. Again, how did I come up with that? It just came into my mind. I had 2 cones that I purchased at a craft shop. I go to Michael's for everything. And these 2 topiaries are 7 pounds of Brussels sprouts. I know, I didn't get enough. I had to go back to the store for another 3 packages. But it was really fun to do, and each one is toothpicked in. A little challenging on the thumb, but it's okay. In. And I just love them. It's maybe one of my favorite parts of the day today. Then I thought, let's different heights at a table, make things interesting. But what you don't want to do is block your view of the guests. That's number one big no-no. So I made these little asparagus stalks, and I cut them and I tied them with rubber bands, and I let them sit in water for 2 days so they had a chance to know where they're going to be. And then I removed the elastic and I tied them up with twine, just to bring in the ultimate spring vegetable. I love colored candles, and sometimes it's really hard to find colored candles. I found the most beautiful colored candles come from Caspari, which you all know and I'm sure love and have used products from there lots. These spring green candles, are they beautiful? They have the most exquisite colors. And I'm going to use a Parisian blue in my next Tablescape, which will be another YouTube for it next month. So what's happening here with the flowers is I wanted to show you how you don't just put it on the table and that's it. I start my table the day before and I walk around it, I change it. Sometimes I like it 3 different ways, but I have to just make a choice. So this isn't in fact going to stay here, but I wanted to show you how much I loved having it here. And if I were going to have this here, which I'm not for this Tablescape, I would make it a tad lower, put it right under the chandelier, and then I would be sure to have small things around it so that when guests arrive, this would be the drama. But I'm not going to have this be the drama today because I'm going to show you the sideboard is going to be the drama, and I'm going to move it over there. This is the sideboard, which is also part of the dinner party. It creates a scene. It's like stepping into a garden. This is whimsical. This is where whimsy comes into play. I do a lot with artichokes, and in the future you'll see how I use them as candlesticks, which is also a really fun thing to do. I've been doing that for years. The cake. This is my husband's favorite cake. It's lemon coconut cake. And this is one of my favorite pieces. It is a cabbage, and you unwind it and you can just load it up with all sorts of vegetables for whatever you want it to be. And then also you can cook it afterwards, curly cabbage. So this creates, when people walk in, it just creates a beautiful, happy scene. And there's lots to look at and lots to talk about. The candles are lit, which adds the ultimate drama. Even in the daytime, I like candles, even in the daytime, always. Just adds a little warmth to the table, to the gathering. The flowers I selected are carnations, and I don't use a lot of carnations, but I absolutely loved the color. So I had to have them. They went so beautifully with the table. So just put some hydrangea, some carnations, and then I almost fainted when I saw these. I had to have them. Talk about whimsy. How cute are these? So just something, it's like a little happy flower. I have no idea what the name of it is, but it's just a little happy flower. And we are ready for the dinner.